we are back with Disco Elysium. The best role-playing game that you have seen in your life. And it ain't simply Disco Elysium, it's the final cut of Disco Elysium. We know that today is a Monday, and we know that we are a cop. And here we are. Looking at the things around us. And finding some things to steal, of course.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul. Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be heard, through a PA system, by other people. You have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation, but it's out there. It'll come to you. You will wreak havoc with it. Don't worry. No. Don't sing the happy song. It's stupid. Sing the sad song. It's profound. You have to find something tragic to sing first, though. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again.
So, our inland empire is also the narrator of ours in this game. That's fascinating, by the way, because Final Cut has voices for characters who had no voice before.
That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you. A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it. This is the Great Skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola. The part of the world you are in right now. Something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look, your buddy is... Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you. A competent word looks like this is the Great Skua. Something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look, why don't you go and talk...
He pretends not to hear you.
Oh no, you're a hero.
Could the massive property damage upstairs have anything to do with this?
Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room?
And right now he's being an asshole, because our character was an asshole. However, we're still a cop. And in this game, while being a cop in this part of town is not as precious or prestigious, we're still an officer of the law. And we still believe in something since we are working, and as we learn more about our character, you understand that he has the reason to be proud of himself or of being a cop. Well, once.
Oh, it's not? You're right.
He has no respect for you personally, but this man sees himself as a law-abiding citizen.
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar. She just...
His eyes dart from left to right.
So now you're a cop. Oh, forget it.
So we learned that certain women named Sylvie have been here before. And we can hear the cook is in place. is our companion, the one and only Kim Kitsuragi. The better half of this duo,
A
arguably,
bespectacled man
but not the
in
one
an
that can
orange bomber
find
jacket
everything.
is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. He is your half-brother.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize.
And there is yet another check that we can try. However, we have no clothing and no things to conceptualize better.
Concentration makes you
Oh,
squint your
we are
eyes.
getting lucky.
Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
Okay then.
And yes, we don't remember our name. We remember nothing. And I love to bits how the game processes it.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Not that it also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you? Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
And yes, we can say dead body, but we already heard about it, so we know that there is a dead body behind it, and we know that it's still there from how sarcastic Garte have been.
So, the body is still in the tree.
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to...
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
And yes, we can talk to him.
We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body in the tree. Someone has to figure out who put it there. But first, we have to take it down. I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General.
Inspectorate General means internal affairs. What he's saying is, he's not from the rat squad and isn't supposed to suspect...
Yes, but I'm not them. I'm from criminal investigation. Yes. They are not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of... I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage. But again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job. You mean you don't have a badge? Oh, if you didn't have your badge, then that would be very bad. You would need to report it on my shortwave. But since you do have it, we can go straight to the task at hand.
But I can't remember anything, and it's true.
I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body
And yes,
down.
Kim Katsuragi will be our mind. The part of our mind that helps us to understand what are we needing to do.
After you, officer.
And yes, we can talk to him as much as we can talk to anybody in this game, I think. There is a bottle of rum. But since we have a very little in electrochemistry, we are not concerned with the room.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister. The man does not mind. You probably...
No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistics company who owns and operates the harbor. Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping.
Our physical instrument is so low we can't hope to wake him up. We need 2 6s to win. Well, we need 6 and a 5 or 6 and a 6, so that's barely any chance to wake this man. We don't need to wake him up. And we can talk to this lovely lady,
Hello, sweetie.
the cryptozoologist Lena.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. Take heart, officer. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
And yes, we can go with encyclopedia's somewhat useless but sometimes helpful thought.
No, dear. I'm not quite that old, although I was injured in the line of duty.
And yes, we can turn it all about ourselves.
Oh my. What happened? That's how I feel about the accident. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoot. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it
And
anyway.
I have a doggo. Hello, doggo.
There is no bitterness in her
Come
voice.
here.
She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you, with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down.
And the best thing that I found out that during development they planned for her to be a third companion. However, exactly because of the problem that majority of locations have no possible way for her to get there on her own, and that you would have to wheel her around, and there were problems with wheeling her around, so they didn't make her a third character, because it was impossible to code and animate proper.
Perhaps another time. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. The new disco dancing. It seems like a lifetime ago.
And yes, those are all the things that I have found out since we woke up. Because if you didn't pass the check to notice this or remember that, you wouldn't be able to answer to her. You still can answer to her all other things, but those things open answers you couldn't possibly found out on your own.
Much has changed, but it is still the
Otherwise,
most
I mean.
beautiful city in the world. A rare jewel set in the sand between the pines. Everyone says so, even foreigners. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
And yes, she gives us a pen, and we will need this pen.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Meaning, buying is voting.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got.
And the RCM is us. Revachol Citizen Militia. The cops.
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
Yes.
You were doing quite well up until the end, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Volition, by the way, is the thing inside every human that drives them forward. It's the thing that looks out for us in any situation, that tries to keep us sane, safe. It tries to protect us. It's our instinct of self-preservation at its the most sensitive part. It's not half-light, which is literally the fight or fight instinct. It's the part in us that looks after us.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
And yes, the time only moves when we talk to someone.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez. Of course, dear. Good luck with your...
And yes, this is the pen, and despite it having quite a price in it, it's a pen we will need. And all of those are little tasks that will award us experience. Experience we will need to, you guessed it, get ourselves some new thoughts, other things. I'm
The
not gonna
man
pretend
with
I
the
remember
unimpressive
everything in
beard
this game.
notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Are you kidding me?
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the death.
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who...
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
And yes, he gives us a number.
You said you just got here. From where?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only...
But you still know your way around, yes? In case...
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start...
I didn't imply that. I have everything. You?
Yes, he means, do you have questions for me, like a police officer would?
He thinks you're stupid, sire.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
Does he want you to feel guilty of making that hole? It's implied in his voice.
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job. What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him. Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing to do with this. Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And...
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching. Good for you. Was there something else?
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right, money. You owe this establishment 130 real. What are you, a philosopher? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or for survival, to pay me. Unless you want to become a hobo. Do you want to become a hobo? There's nowhere else to stay in Martinez, and it's a cold spring outside. Money doesn't make you happy. If you run out of money, you die. It's like that for all of us. Me too. That's why I need you to pay me. I'm not an asshole. Are you serious? From your work? I don't know. You can take bribes, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't think cops can take bribes.
Some do take recompense, but only to survive.
Yes, it is. No, you see, that's 40 cents. Cents are a form of currency 100 times smaller than the real. I'm not even going to take this. Come back when you have 130 real. Yes, it is.
For a moment, his antipathy is overcome by compassion. Isn't it evil? The order of magnitude between what is asked of a person and what they have. There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber. That's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I don't have any money either.
Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money. I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have...
Officer, maybe you're better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away. Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them, ask for assistance. We have to get this...
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank. And this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. Why did you say that?
No. But isn't that an expression, not a place? A saying. Up on Marvel Hill, a great high place. One that is impossible to climb back to.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
And that's how we gain another thought.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon?
And no, we're
The
not
worker
going to be
isn't.
there.
Perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from, into the primordial darkness. You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room.
And yes, we don't have enough.
Hello again, sweetie.
We can beg people for money, we can try and bribe and get bribes. However, we are not going to do that here, because we are better than that. We'll try to gather the money, because there are ways to gather them. However, it's nearly impossible to gain enough money on your. Yes, we can run around and look at the things for now. We can find the man who is drunk, but he has the tare bag. And tare is important. Because every tare you pick up is a bit of money you can get. I don't have the perception for most things, but sometimes it will still work. And there is a lot of tare to be gathered, so we cannot get enough tare to, of course, pay up for 130 real
This
in damages.
coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the metal feels cold and wet under your palm. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word, under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no
Probably some kids.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual.
We won't need it.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You have no clue.
Are you trying to sneak up on pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out? Don't get fucking clever with me, pig.
We found ourselves a bit of loot.
You see a young man on a balcony, nursing.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has...
Is it really that important? All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear Jean.
We will remove the body as soon as...
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you? No, not you. Some more muscular...
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
a downy blanket of white to cover up the
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pal. He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, snow continues to pile on the neighboring windowsills.
My name?
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Ask him again.
And I really need to finish this cigarette.
But he hasn't left yet.
No. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains? For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes. Compassion and a hint of understanding. There's snow gathering on his hair and on his shoulders. A speckle of white against the purple that hangs loose on his slender frame.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
And indeed, he gave us a sign.
If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them. We'll just have to go in and see.
indeed. I'll get ourselves some more tare. We can gain more tare here. No, those are Cape Side apartments. There is another amusing lady.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. Sod off, pig man. Art is above the law.
She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
A moment. And I'm back.
The woman
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershaw. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cabs. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
And yes, majority of people here are uncooperative, even in better times. What? Motare! Motare! And really, tare is what making our world go round. Trust me when I tell you that money doesn't come easily in this game. And while we won't need money for the whole stay, know that this place is, and this person is expensive. However, we should go and look at the body. I will come back here later in this in-game day, but we need to find Motare and more things to do.
Hello, sir. I know, sir. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards. A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter. My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face.
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being...
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more to look into.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir. Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather. No such thing.
Anything else you wanted to talk? Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals. It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head? Yes.
No, it's your soul, not head, child. Heads.
I'm not sure I understand. If you say so, sir. He's just a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though. No, I don't know. Yes, she knows books.
What was that? An idea for an
And this,
unfinished
my
novel
friend,
stuck
is how
somewhere in
foreshadowing
your
is
forebrain. You clearly have issues you need to address.
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a battery. Yes, that would be fine. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something. Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end. Maybe some about other books? Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them.
Sorry.
I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
Isn't that kind of a childish thing for a grown-up to say?
When she grows up, and if she grows up to be clever, she'll discover there's no such thing as a grown-up.
Okay, sir.
She doesn't know what to make of that, but she'll remember it. You fell to She waits intently.
Come on, anyone would notice that.
And yes, we couldn't remember.
Hello
What
again,
kind of
sir.
check it is? It's composure. We can work with composure. And we even have a bonus to composure, so yeah, we really need to up that. Not too much, however, we'll need it. We'll need our points.
This Post Lavatoria
Yes.
mail collection
We
box.
can show love to the nice mailbox.
The box seems eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder, then you swallow.
And yes, we have just attempted to talk to a goddamn mailbox. And yes, let's look for Motare. There is Motare. I need my Tare. Not just Tare. I also need my hidden items because, trust me, with... Wait. The seller dudes that sells us stuff. And Motare. Motare is worth Tare. Ooh! And we find something useful. They protect our hands and give us stats without any losses. The water lock is broken.
Good morning to you.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh?
The words, "Dear Devil."
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins. Sure thing. Want some too?
Why not?
And we get some salami for our troubles.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small... This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Yes, it's a perception check that is almost impossible to lose. However, no check is not impossible to lose. I can see the butter sign down below.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Caprice Kinema motor cab. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap go the cutters in your hand. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue, lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook. The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle so very familiar in your palm. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
There's no use pressing the heat button. It won't start without the ignition key.
Translation. We're not going anywhere right now. Alternative translation. Don't even think you can drive my MC. The frequency tableau lights up and the green button labeled Prime Line glows like a feline eye. And then you hear something. The soft purr of electrical kittens. Radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Of course. What is her number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello? Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
You can hear resentment in her tone. She's not thrilled to be talking to you again.
No, not me. No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the corpse. No one calls the police. The Union would get angry. You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Garbage.
Legally, no. In reality, yes. Martinez is de facto policed by the Dock Workers Union.
Words are not necessary to feel the lieutenant's discontent for the situation.
I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Push her further. Show her the error of her ways. No, don't push her. It sounds as if she's about to cry.
The other people who live around here.
Her voice is resigned and weak.
You don't live here. You don't understand. Please, I just didn't want any trouble. You do? What else can I do for you? Yeah, go on. You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir. What? No, why would you even think that? Please, don't bring up... I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again. You mean, why did I leave the bar? Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone. You know who.
You think you hear a sliver of... Don't be paranoid. She's obvious.
I really don't want to talk about this. What? No, why would you even think that? Please, don't bring... I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again.
And yes, sometimes it's worth repeating
You
this
mean,
stuff.
why did I leave the... What? No, please, don't... I already said I don't want to... No? Yeah, go on. I do hope so. Please, don't call me.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags.
I'm not mad, it's just... You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the stuffed bird, the great skua, you threw it against the wall while screaming, "Fuck that bird." I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there. Yes, well... Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I'd ever seen. And I had seen so many assholes in this place. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you, well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. We Go On, by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a parody. Then there was your room. Your project. An experiment to see how bad it can get in there. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. Threatened to make me understand. And then you screamed something incomprehensible about churches and the scent of apricots and aquariums. And then I had to deal with your toilet. The one you clogged with police documents. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself. Damn it, I don't remember. Especially when there's a hurricane loose. It's your fault for losing them, not mine.
Something in you wants to immediately forget about this, as if there was a reason you threw them away.
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst. God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it... Wait, really? No, this is no. I was actually flattered. I've always liked...
There's a pause.
I didn't know what to say to him later. Then you came and destroyed the place. So I left... Okay, but... Please don't mess it up. Please don't take out your gun or something. All sorts of things. From disco, rock too. Which one would that be? Sad? I think the one you mean is the smallest church in San Sans. Butchered that right up.
Interesting. You still have to find it, however.
And we know about the song.
You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then,
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57's over and out.
in the cabin, you see